Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. I'm here with Kalvis again. Yo, I think you are my most recurring guest, actually, now that I think about it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. We should do this in real life too,
Yeah, for sure. We still can because the
We
book,
don't live that far away.
we still have like 2 or 3 chapters left or something.
Yeah, so this is one more time we're going to discuss chapter 12 and 13. And then next we're going to end the chapter 14, 15, which is the end of the book. And then I think we can meet in real life and discuss the whole book.
Yeah, sounds good to me, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into chapter 12. I think it's going to open up more discussions about the previous chapters anyways. So I'm gonna go right into it. So chapter 12 is the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And it did feel like pretty repetitive, right, to other chapters because I mean he's mentioned already like auto-suggestion and faith and all this stuff. So I guess it's just like putting all these things together, right?
Right.
But he did mention the subconscious mind is the link to infinite intelligence.
Right. That's correct.
But I think we haven't like infinite intelligence is its own chapter, right? It's coming later, I guess.
I think it's the sixth sense that's going to come later, chapter 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be an exciting chapter too.
Like when I think of, I mean, let me ask you first, what comes to mind when you read those words, infinite intelligence?
Yeah, like it feels kind of cool that you can have some ideas, creative thoughts, and like creativity that can come from something that's unexplainable. Where it comes from, nobody can really explain, right? So maybe it's by doing, I don't know, some physical activity, or maybe you're quote unquote transmuting your sexual energy, and I don't know, doing like a workout or something like that, for example. And then that like action can lead you towards, like, I don't know, reaching as like a sudden thought or something that gives you, like, I don't know, some where it comes from infinite intelligence, some kind of idea. So I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. What do you think about infinite intelligence? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like my gut feeling says it's something related to intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
there's something that like knows everything. That's definitely not me, right? So I'm trying to access that thing that knows everything.
Correct.
And I guess according to this chapter, the subconscious mind is like the middleman between like my rational mind and then that infinite intelligence. It's kind of funny, like when I first read this book, it was before I even got into spirituality. So I just thought like, wow, this seems pretty abstract. I thought this was going to be like a finance book. So when it got to this
Right.
chapter, I was like, wait, what is this? And like
Right.
like funny enough, like after I read this book, I read a book about Zen, and that began like my spiritual like journey or whatever. Like that's how it started. It was
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So like it
Yeah, because
didn't
sometimes,
really. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, you go. Sorry.
Just like the abstract parts of this book didn't make sense until like I maybe like 2 years after when I went back to my hometown for a few months and I reread uh a few chapters in this book and suddenly it was like, whoa, wait a second. Wait, everything just came full circle. Like this is the spiritual stuff I've been studying for like 2 years now. It was in this book already. Like just tripped me out.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely cool because like sometimes you would think about like quote unquote financially wealthy people, uh, stuff like that. Like usually maybe you wouldn't think as they're very spiritual, and sometimes that is the case. Maybe they're like only like finance driven, money driven. Also, they're contributing and all that stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, it's all about like profit and stuff like that, which is not necessarily bad. But then there's other kind of people which are quote unquote spiritually rich. They're like, I don't know, they like to go on some retreats and meditate and do some yoga, for example, and like connect with
Mm.
like-minded people. And you could sometimes tell they're hippies, quote unquote hippies, something like that. But like,
Mm.
you know, but like at least you're like quote unquote spiritually like kind of fulfilled. But and those kind of people think that the finance people they're fucking weird. Sorry for swearing. And they're
No, that's
like,
good.
they're obsessed with some materialistic stuff and stuff like that. But the people who are quote unquote rich, they're like looking at spiritual people. They're like, well, who are these hippies, man? Just go like hustle, do
Mm.
something in this world, right? And make some also contribution stuff like that. But ideally, it would like be nice to be both, right? To be like financially rich and also spiritually rich. And it's kind of cool that this book kind of delves into these things. For example, like faith, chapter of faith, like auto suggestion, what you say to yourself on a daily basis, basically. And in
Mm.
this chapter, also the subconscious mind, and then later also the sixth sense. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
It kind of feels like if you can be happy already before you get rich, then you
Mm,
can just then you can decide like if being rich is even something relevant to you in your life. I mean, like your time being alive is limited, right? So to be financially rich, it will take some time. It's like if you're happy already, then you can decide like, do I want to invest my time and energy into being financially rich, or am I already happy and I can just chill? Like,
mm,
like
right.
this. Okay, it's 2024 now. Oh, Happy New Year, bro! Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes, that's awesome.
So in 2023, oh yeah, this is the first episode of 2024. Yo, it's like
Yo.
so in 2023, I met a rich family, but they are really sad. Um, so like meeting them, just like it's been trippy because now I know it's possible to be financially wealthy and still be sad.
Yeah, I think some people have discussed like uh, being like rich. Like for example, I watched this poker player Mickey, like with all tattoos all over his body. It's like crazy that guy, and he got rich from like beating the game and stuff like that. But like, uh, but he was like doing some shady stuff in his like teens or whatever. He's like I don't know, but anyway, he reached like a lot of success, like pretty much massive success financially. But yeah, he
Mm.
also mentioned that yeah, there's some problems you just can't fix with money. But I assume it's still like a lot more comfortable, right?
Dude.
And
And
stuff. But
if you are a sad rich person, the bad
mm,
thing about that is that you still have hope that if you spend the money in the right places that you're gonna find happiness. And it's always failure.
mm,
It just always ends up
possibly.
it just always ends up
Or
in you being bored.
right, or we all want quote unquote love and find like a partner and stuff like that,
Mm.
or just seeking sex like from sex transition stuff like that. But if you're like a maybe rich person and stuff, and maybe you're kind of sad deep down still, even though you achieved this external success, then the thing is that you like attract people that don't like you for you. Maybe they just see I don't know, they see a ATM machine, right? They're like, oh, this is awesome. This is my ticket to riches. Like I can just
Mm.
use this person. So it's kind of like you always have to be careful of the people you hang out with. Especially when you're wealthy and stuff. So
Yeah, I'm guessing like if I'm guessing if you're sad and rich, then you will attract other sad and rich people, and then you'll both be chasing happiness together, hoping that you're gonna find it eventually.
right, or sad and poor people, maybe a girl, or I don't know, somebody who just wants to use you. You know what I mean?
That could happen too. Yeah, like if
Right.
yeah, if someone is like aware enough to know that you are rich and you have a void and you can help them fill that void and get some benefits, then someone might go for that. True.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Yo, so what about this? There's also this about chapter 12, which is
Yes,
subconscious
sir.
mind. Positive emotions drive action.
Mm.
But didn't he also say like if one negative emotion enters your mind, it can ruin all the positive emotions?
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned that sort of.
Dang, I I can definitely see how that's possible. I've been feeling that so often, so I'm trying my best to get out of that trap. And I'm
Right. I
I'm
mean, it's
asking,
okay. I'm a
yeah, right. Because actually now that okay, awesome. Like when we talk about this, like it all makes more sense. Like that keeps happening to me because I'm trying to learn how to have faith. And the reason why the fear keeps entering my mind is because my faith hasn't been strong enough.
Mm.
I think that's it, bro.
Yeah, possibly. Um, yeah, and also in this chapter they talk about prayer and stuff, and that it like actually works. Like I assume scientifically it works too. Like honestly, I haven't really tried it, but my question to you is like, yeah, how would you like if faith is the thing that could eliminate your fear and it could like, and it's one of those positive, strong emotions like love, sex, and faith, right? So
Yeah.
like, how do you strengthen your faith to like, which is the first step towards riches, I think you mentioned, right? So how do you strengthen that and also maybe apply prayer even when you don't, or maybe gratitude, or I don't know. How do you
Yeah, right.
think
How do
about
you
that?
how to increase faith? I guess you gotta have you gotta have some faith that faith works.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right, right, right,
I
right.
guess experiment with it, right? Like start with
Yeah,
something
yeah.
small and work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I have to update about my own thing because remember like in the last episode I mentioned that I was gonna use the sexual transmutation for a desire that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So actually my desire has shifted a little bit.
Okay.
And I know before I didn't want to say what that thing was, but yeah, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit today actually. Um so actually
Okay.
my desire was to reconnect with a specific person, right?
Okay.
Um but the problem that I see now was that I gave that person complete control over my happiness. And
Oh,
that was a
yeah.
mistake. That was a
That's never
mistake.
good. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's never good.
So it's like my desire was so strong to reconnect with that person because I assumed that then I would be happy. But that's another
Mm-hmm.
trap that is not mentioned in this book. Like the trap of
Mm-hmm.
the trap of trying to attract something with the purpose of being happy.
Right.
So actually
Yeah.
so now my desire has shifted a little bit. It's like I don't want I still prefer, yes, I do prefer to reconnect with this person, but my happiness does not depend on that happening anymore. Like I'm trying my
Yeah.
best. I'm trying my best to realize my happiness on my own. And I say realize because it looks like happiness is not something you go and find. It's something that you realize is already here. But
Mm-hmm.
you can only realize that when you stop looking for it. And when you stop looking for it, it feels like rehab. It feels like you're an
Mm-hmm.
addict. And and when you finally stop seeking that thing, your mind will start to say like, "Yay, come on, dude. What are you doing? We should be out there looking for it. Come on." And then you have to like not listen to that mind. And like the thing is like your mind begins to suffer and then you have to sit and actually feel how your mind is suffering. So I mean, I've never been to rehab, but I'm guessing it is there's some similarities there.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. Wow. It does sound like a crack addict a little bit. Just like, oh,
Right.
dude,
It
just yeah, go get it. You need to navigate.
It's like, just give me one more hit,
Yeah.
or like the addict saying like, no, I swear I'm clean now. So yeah, just let me get
Just
near
one
it
time
again.
again.
Yeah, just one more time.
Yeah.
I swear I'm
Just one
clean
time.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Then you taste it again and you're like, damn.
Yeah, it's like I just want to smell it a little bit. I'm not gonna do it. I just want to smell it. Like, so like right now I'm going
Yeah.
through that detox phase, and I mean I gotta say it's painful. It's painful, but I feel this is the only way that I'm going to realize happiness in the present moment. Like I don't want to be like those sad rich people, like always seeking it and being miserable. Like I really don't want to live like that. I know my time is limited, like in this metaverse. Like I want to realize happiness. Yeah, just I want to say as soon as possible, but I don't want to rush it either, because when I rush it, then I'm seeking again, right? So just I just have to I just have to surrender and just let it happen on its own. I just got to detox. That's it.
Yeah. Appreciate you sharing this. It's yeah. It doesn't sound easy, but at least you understand that yeah, you cannot like you can only influence that you can influence, and influencing how other person
Dude,
like thinks
exactly.
about you, perceives you, like it's out of your control. So all you can be is just be yourself, focus on yourself. Like invest that energy instead of investing to another person, trying to chase them or something. Like invest it in yourself and just like do you, right? Because like that energy like gotta go somewhere anywhere, and might as well invest in yourself and maybe use the sex transmutation especially towards achieving your desires, and of course start with some desires in the beginning. It can be riches like in this book, like Think and Grow Rich, but it can be any kind of goal, like when it comes to I don't know, hitting the gym,
Right.
I don't know, meditation, uh I don't know, any other
Exactly,
pursuit
man.
of life. So
And like
yeah,
I think I should say this, like I do desire to have a family, right? And I do desire to meet my life partner. And I feel that now I'm ready to meet this person, like whoever she is. Like
awesome.
I know who I prefer it to be, but I mean, if she's not down with that, I have to accept her. So like, I'm just telling like whatever life or the universe, like, okay, I'm ready to receive this person now, because like I can make it work now.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right,
and in the meantime, I'm going to just I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna work on myself in the meantime, because
right,
I
correct.
might as well like keep doing my inner work. Um, because then like if it takes a little bit longer for this person to show up, then I'll just be more prepared if that
Right,
happens.
right, right. Exactly. Exactly.
So there's no rush, right? There should be no rush. But like my mind was like stuck in this like, oh, I need those drugs right now.
Drug of a family.
Yeah, right. It's just trying to fill a void. It's just like it's like a whole other topic, right? It's trying to fill some kind of void that was there for a while. And now it has a chance to heal because I'm detoxing. Like now finally.
Nice, bro.
So really like my motivation now, like for transportation, is my future family, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the original purpose for sex transportation, right? Is to
Right.
reproduce. So.
Right. Yeah. And also like on the topic of marriage, like I realize marriage is not something natural. It's not something natural, right?
100%. It's human made. Yeah.
It's something, yeah, it's a human made thing. It's like it's a decision that you can make or not make. It's up to you. It's kind of like becoming a monk. Like becoming a monk is not natural. Like you decide to do that or not.
Yeah. It's like becoming a vegetarian. Like
Right. It's a
you
decision you make.
this and that and this. You want to eat this restaurant and that one, and
Yeah.
then you can make a decision. Okay, I'm only gonna eat vegetarian, or I'm only
Yeah.
gonna eat at this restaurant. Like, because like I feel fulfilled and I feel love. I feel everything from this person. I don't need anyone else. But uh,
Right.
but if that's not the case, and which maybe a lot of books do suggest, like Sex Dawn, research suggests that we are polyamorous at nature, and only like
Mm.
4% of species in the world are monogamous. And yeah, you
It
can just
makes
make it.
sense, right? It makes sense because biologically, like nature is made to reproduce as much as possible, right? Like like it makes logical sense. So like to be married, like yeah, like to choose to be married is not is not something natural. It's a decision that one should make, and I just choose that I want that. I just choose that.
Right,
And
right.
but it makes me wonder, like, why is there so much pressure for everyone to do that? Why is there that expectation? Like, how did that become a trend?
Oh, what's that?
Like, like
Which one?
I'm just wondering, how did marriage become a trend?
Oh, marriage.
Like it should be
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it should be something that people like um should be surprised that they're doing. Like it's like, oh, you decided to be married? Whoa, like okay, cool, good for you. But instead it's something that is expected, right? Like everyone expects everyone to want to do it. Maybe
Yeah,
more in
marriage comes from like back in the day, right? So it kind of made sense back then when the life expectancy was maybe not as long, and maybe you come from like 150 people, like village or whatever, and even as long like not far ago from 100 200 years ago, it maybe kind of made sense. And nowadays, like it may still make sense for a lot of people, but like actually, like you can see the statistics that people that choose to get married, okay, maybe they choose, but it's at their older age, or maybe they just don't choose it at all.
right.
So yeah, it's definitely trending towards that. Yeah.
Like I have a friend that he's in his 60s, right? And he said like he's been married and like while he was married, he realized that the married life is not for him. So he just ended it and he just chooses to be single now. And he's happy. He's really happy.
Okay. Okay. Is
Yeah.
he living in America or?
No, he's in Saigon.
Awesome. Awesome, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, you know him,
Do
but
I know him?
I'll tell yeah, well, I'll tell you who he is later.
Yeah, that's okay. You could say maybe I can imagine who could that be.
Yo, what about habits? Here it says habits control the subconscious.
Mm.
And to push out negativity from your mind is a habit,
The
apparently.
habit. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. So like you want to like again go back to chapter two. You have the desire, and you want to reach your goal, like your specific goal. You go for it, and like if some days you don't feel like it or you quote unquote fail or something like that you don't reach your maybe full potential, like don't be maybe too hard on yourself and
Yeah.
just try to like have it like a habit. Okay, I'm gonna consistently do this and that, and just try to keep it maybe simple and now and then it's gonna become easier to have these positive habits and and also like in the chapter 12, yeah, it's also good to like have your goals and write it down. And another book they talked about writing down your goals, like it's important your subconscious
Right.
mind. And also in this book they mentioned write down your goal, specific goal, well, time frame, etc., but read it out loud first thing in the morning and last thing before you go to bed, because subconscious mind like works like 24/7 whether you affect it or not.
Hmm.
And we can kind of affect it, but especially if you have a desire, maybe especially you read it out like every day, it makes you like, you know, makes you more aware. Like your subconscious is more, I don't know, uh, it's kind of turned on more towards that desire and want to reach it, especially if you can use sexual transmutation to reach those desires, because that's the most powerful like human drive. Yeah.
Dude, this reminds me that okay, this the whole thing about writing it down and vision boards and all of this. I've been using it for my plan to coach, right? But now that
Right.
you mentioned it, I should be using that method for realizing my happiness. Right? I should make a plan for how I'm going to detox myself and like for how many months and like right like I should experiment with that and then see
Yeah,
how that
yeah, yeah.
feels. Because right
Yeah.
now I feel like that like that that realization of happiness to me right now feels more important than career, more important than relationship, more important than having kids. Like I feel like that is my number one right now. Because like when that number one is finally realized, like everything else is gonna fall into place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you mentioned prayer too, right? Prayer.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
But he says it has to be filled with emotion. It can't just be like just repeated words that mean
Yeah,
nothing.
with emotion, and also mentions that a lot of times people resort to prayer when everything else fails. And then
All
the
right.
thing is, when you resort to prayer in that case, it's like because of fear, like your mind
Yeah.
is like filled with fear. And in those cases, prayer doesn't work.
Right.
So,
Because it's coming from
so
like scarcity, right?
I suppose, yeah, there's no abundance. You were just
It's
like,
like,
oh,
please
I
God,
this doesn't happen.
please help me for, please help me with whatever. So like that's why like people that teach law of attraction, they'll say like, don't say like, please help me with something. They'll say just say thank you ahead of time. Like, thank you for helping me find whatever it is that I need, right? Like just say thank you ahead of time.
Right, right, right.
So that way it's not coming from like, oh God, like, please help me out with this one. It's just like, no, thanks for the help. I really appreciate that. And also be honest, like be genuinely thankful.
Right, right, right. Well, like also gratitude, like research does show that gratitude does help. Like I
Dude.
think there have been like MRI scans and stuff about maybe with prayer too, I suppose, but especially with gratitude. Like if you're grateful for just simple things,
Yeah,
because actually we're already rich. Like if you look back in
exactly.
history, right? Like 100 whatever years ago, like I mean, most people wouldn't have like resources for the next whatever 6 months, whatever. For example, they would just have to hunt whatever for the next day, and they don't know where their meal is gonna come from, etc.,
Mm,
etc. You kind of just store your money in a bank, and now we are all richer, but we're just comparing us to maybe other people, maybe especially with social media. We compare ourselves to like Instagram and Facebook, stuff like that.
mm,
So sometimes it's good to remind yourself that you're already rich and you have a body and you are like, especially have functioning body, you don't have any disabilities, stuff like that. And
mm.
just like, just be grateful for every single little thing. Like you have food on the table, you have, you can breathe nice air, you can
Yeah,
have a chance to travel, stuff like that. And we're already rich, right? But sometimes we just,
yeah.
forget about it.
I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
happiness is a byproduct of gratitude. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it would be a great idea for all of us to increase our gratitude. But the thing is, I've tried to just be more thankful about random stuff, and sometimes I'm not being real. I'm just like, oh,
Not
let me.
being okay.
It's like
Genuine, genuine.
it's like let me just say thank you for random shit, and then see if my brain can accept that, and then see if I feel happy. But actually, it's a trap. I'm still seeking happiness, so I have to find a way to be like genuinely grateful for stuff.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And I think um it works better for me when I feel thankful ahead of time for something like thank you for helping me find peace, like, or thank you for helping me be more thankful. I feel when I say it like that, my brain accepts that uh as real. Whereas
Okay.
if I say like right, I mean at least like I guess that's the state of mind I'm in right now, right? Like if I say like, "Oh, thanks for this remote because it helps me to change the temperature," like then my brain is like, "Shut the fuck up, dude!" Like then it doesn't believe me, right? So I have to find a way
Uh,
to like to hack my brain so it works.
right, right, right. Yeah, whatever works. But like when it comes to prayer, how would you go about and applying in your life? Because I've personally, I don't know, almost never done any kind of prayer.
Mm,
But I think like one time when I was a kid, I looked in a movie, something in the church, something like someone's sitting on his knees doing like this, and I don't know,
mm.
something in his head or something.
Right?
Maybe
Yes.
do like this, I forget. And back then I
True.
thought, it's actually kind of cool. Like I actually want to do that in the future because it does look like, I don't know, not like you're like, I don't know, praying for some, like, I don't know,
Right. It kind of feels like prayer,
like,
like 'cause, yeah, like now that you say that, because also in like in Buddhism and Hinduism, the person usually gets down like right on their knees or even flat on the floor too. Like so it looks like one pattern in prayer is that like you're admitting that there's something out there bigger than you,
exactly, exactly.
and like it makes you be humble, and it makes you like yeah, like be thankful for what you have, because like if this life didn't exist, then you wouldn't be experiencing anything.
Mm, right, right, right.
It's something like
Yeah.
that. Should we go into the brain real quick? Chapter 13.
Yeah. Let's go for chapter 13 so we can discuss the
This
brain.
one was kind of like confusing for me
Yeah.
because first he mentioned like the brain is like a radio and your thoughts are vibrations that
Yeah.
can be picked up or transmitted and
Uh-huh.
received, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
okay, up to
Yeah, like
that point,
broadcasting or receiving station.
yeah, like up to that point, like yeah, I can vibe with that. When he was talking about like
Huh?
telepathy and stuff, like I don't know, I don't
Mm.
have telepathic powers, so I don't know what to say about that. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really click for me because like I don't know what to think about
Right. Yeah, it's hard to understand maybe if you don't have real experience with that
that.
EFT stuff.
In the notes here, he also mentioned again sexual transmutation that that
Exactly.
when you channel your sexual energy into something creative, then your thought vibrations apparently they
Increase.
amplify, like is what he says,
Mm.
and then uh, then you become more receptive to ideas and like I guess your transmitter gets stronger or something.
Right.
It does make sense,
100%.
right? It does make sense
Uh,
because I feel like if you're spending too much of your sexual energy like constantly, then maybe you like your transmitter becomes like desensitized. Maybe you can't pick up on these little details. It's possible.
wait, can you say that again? When you focus your sexual
Like it's possible.
energy
I think it's possible that if you use too much sexual energy, like let's say
towards
on
the
yeah
actual,
yeah
the
towards
original
actual
goal,
yeah towards
original
sexual
goal.
activities, yeah. If you use your
Yeah.
sexual energy for sexual activities often, then maybe just your transmitter isn't able to pick up these small vibrations and little details.
Interesting. Yeah, it might be, right? Or at least you're wasting your time, maybe, right? Like just running around and yeah.
It just depends what you want, right? Like, yeah, it depends what you want. Um, yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts about that? Because I feel like
Yeah, I
eventually,
think
it like,
this
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
go
this
ahead.
sex transition stuff that increase the vibration rate of thought, I think that's one of the most interesting ones. And you can definitely see that, right? Because that's like the biggest motivator, right? Like
Mm.
you have a girl coming over to your place and you're gonna clean your room, whatever, right?
You're gonna iron your
So
shirt.
yeah. And also like in the marketing there's a saying, sex sells always, right? And it's just a natural thing, right? We all think about it, like some more, some less. But it's kind of cool that if you're if you quote unquote think you're cursed by the sex drive, it's actually a gift, right? And mentioned in the good book is a gift. The best
All right.
salespeople are most highly sex people and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it's kind of cool that it can amplify your thoughts and creativity and yeah, it would be kind of good to know some practical examples too. But
Mm.
yeah, but there's definitely people like that are successful. He also mentioned in the book that yeah, they're a highly sex drive.
Mm.
I guess you would suppose that it's the same for Elon Musk, who has like 11 kids, and other people who have like yeah, who are like massively successful.
Mm. Yeah, I guess you got to have a really strong interest for something that's non-sexual so you can transmute it. Because or else your mind will be like, so what's the purpose of transmuting it if I just want to have sex anyways? So what's the point?
Maybe when you're younger, right? Okay, you can. But like when you get older, also in the book it says yeah, when you reach like 40, most men,
All right.
especially, reach
Damn.
there.
I don't want to wait till I'm 40, bro. I'm 33 right now.
Yeah,
I just want to transmute it right now and see what happens.
right. But you tell me you already kind of transmuted sex energy. You did some things like
Dude,
maybe you can share some stuff about that
okay.
and what was your
Oh,
result because
right.
that sounds interesting. You know what I mean?
True. I
Yeah.
didn't share that yet. Yeah. Okay. So I did transmute it. I mean, I was still like I should say I was still in a trap when I transmuted it because I did transmute the energy with the purpose of being able to attract my specific person.
Right. Okay.
that was the goal of my transmutation because in that moment I believed that that person was the key to my happiness, right? So I did I transmute my energy? Yeah, I did, because on that first day that I decided, okay, I'm gonna transmute the energy, I went for a run and I ran at a faster pace than usual for a longer time than I have done since I started running in the past like 4 or 5 months. Like I surprised myself. I was like, whoa, like, dude, I just ran pretty fast for my pace for a long time for my pace. And I was like, whoa, so this actually works. I got extra physical power. Yeah.
Mm.
So right now, because I don't believe that person can make me happy anymore, so my desire has dropped to attract that person, right? So like now I'm focused more on like transmuting it for my future family. But now I have to imagine my future family so I can get motivated, right? It's like a whole new game now.
Right.
But I did
Oh yeah.
transmute it for a few days until my desire
Okay.
changed. And then when the desire changed, then the transmutation level also changed.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. Well, yeah, it's probably not sustainable if it's based on another person's if your
Right, you're
happiness is
right.
based on another person.
You're right.
But
It's
but it's good that you did it, and now you have reference experience. Oh, that
yeah.
time I applied it for like a few days and stuff, and I was like, man, I was running so much and so fast, and why can't I do it just like normal? Not for someone else, not even for my future family, but just for myself, right?
Uh,
Just for myself, because just like why not, right?
it's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Like David Goggins' son.
Dude, David Goggins, bro.
Stay hard.
And,
Yeah.
and Goggins was just interviewed recently by Andrew Huberman. I just started listening to it
Oh yeah,
today.
yeah.
It's really good. It's so goddamn
Correct,
good.
correct. I actually saw Andrew Humor just recently, like a short on YouTube, that
Mm,
he actually uses prayer and stuff too. Actually, and it says it freaking works for him.
cool.
I think he
I mean,
started not too long ago, maybe, and it really, really works.
that's cool.
It's like,
I think his dad. I don't know if his mom and dad, but I think one of his parents is from Argentina, so maybe the Latino part
mm,
helps with that.
Latinos the best.
Yo, he also mentioned synchronicity.
What's that?
Right. This is something that's been coming up lately in my other studies. Synchronicity, or have you heard of serendipity?
I think so. You kind of explain it now.
This is like when
I
some
have heard of it.
like when just a really peculiar coincidence happens. Like
Oh, okay.
it's like, wait a second, this coincidence just seems like too coincidental. Like something feels weird about this.
Okay. Interesting.
Like
Interesting.
like a coincidence that doesn't feel so random. It's like, wait a second, this is kind of weird,
Hmm.
but it's helpful for some reason. Like
Interesting.
and the way it's described here is aligned thoughts attract aligned opportunities and resources, and it makes it seem like these opportunities are lucky.
Hmm. Okay.
Huh, but he's saying your thoughts will attract matching opportunities and matching resources.
Is this the synchronicity stuff?
Yeah, synchronicity.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.